North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has passed away? Rumor or untold truth hidden by the regime to buy time? Hey guys, what are the first things that pop into your head when you hear North Korea? Is it the supreme leader Kim Jong-un with his binoculars? Or is it Dennis Rodman and nuclear Armageddon? You've no doubt heard the news about the dictator being gravely ill or might even be dead. While the news may bring some relief to many, did you ever consider that his death could actually be worse than having him in charge of the mysterious Asian nation? Put on your headset and turn up the speaker volume while we reveal the likely outcomes of Kim Jong-un's death, including a more trigger-happy successor among a few other potential dangers. In today's video, we'll learn about the most surprising facts that revolve around North Korea and the Kim family, whether or not the leader really is dead, and what happens if he is. It is an intriguing story about power, betrayal, and murder that will keep you on the edge of your seat. But first, please hit the like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. So, is Kim Jong-un really dead? The South Korean government says he's fine, and their intel suggests he's chilling out in one of Kim Dynasty's most elegant retreats on the country's coastline. But his recent disappearance from the spotlight has many global news media speculating about a surgery gone wrong and his deteriorating health. Here are the two things we are clear on. Number 1. If he is dead, we'll only know when North Korea decides to announce it. For all we know, the lookalike on TV cutting that red ribbon was just a clone. Number 2. If he is alive, we'll only believe it when we see him up and about ordering more rocket tests. Remember that this is the most secretive nation in the world we're talking about. So whichever the case, it brings about serious questions on what happens when he dies. What started this whole theory why people think he's dead was when Kim didn't go to his grandfather's anniversary on April 15th. In a country that worships the reigning family like gods, you'd expect their leader to show up and give his respect to none other than the guy who founded North Korea. And 10 days later, he also missed the anniversary celebration of the North Korean Military Foundation Day. Naturally, everyone thought that the guy must be dead or dying, but wait till you find out what apparently happened and why he didn't show up at either of those ceremonies. This is where the story takes a bizarre turn. Some would have us believe that Kim's disappearance is just the tantrums of a spoiled little boy who didn't get enough attention. You see, only a couple of days before his grandfather's birthday ceremony, North Korea launched a couple of tactical missiles from a fighter jet. He probably expected a media uproar, just like always whenever he shoots rockets to the sky, but no one seemed to care this time as the world was too caught up with the COVID-19 pandemic. What would any spoiled little boy do for craving attention? Apparently, he decided to go hiding in a luxury complex in Wonsan. This may sound crazy, but it's just the thing he would do. He's done far worse things during his reign, including ordering the murder of his eldest brother and publicly executing his uncle with anti-aircraft guns. Now, let's suppose that he is really dead or incapacitated. What would happen to the regime, and who would take charge of this Asian nation? What's even more concerning is who takes charge of North Korea's nuclear arsenal. We will find out after we first understand North Korea's blurry line of succession. So, who exactly comes into power after Kim Jong-un? You see, he didn't do his homework like his father did or his grandfather before him. Both men spent the better part of their final years grooming their chosen successors for command in order to keep the dynasty alive. But Kim Jong-un was too busy playing war games and basketball to care about who succeeds himself one day. There are only two real candidates to the North Korean Iron Throne: his sister Kim Yo-jong and his uncle on his father's side, Kim Il. There's a strong case for both candidates, but can a sister possibly be worse than her brother? Keep on watching and you'll be surprised. Very few people paid much attention to the sister Kim Yo-jong until someone suggested she could be North Korea's next supreme leader. After all, she's the most prominent female politician in the country. She's in tune with her brother's ideals and has worked beside him for years. But most importantly, she's a part of the Kim bloodline, which is a must if you want to rule North Korea. The problem is that she's a Cersei. a smart, powerful woman, but in a man's world. It'll be hard for her to become supreme leader and father of the nation being a woman. But if she did take power, she would have to start strong like her brother did to consolidate her leadership. This would probably mean public executions like North Korea has never seen. And if she wants to gain the trust and adoration of her people, she would have to show a strong arm against the United States, possibly expanding her nuclear arsenal and provoking Western governments in ways even Kim Jong-un hadn't thought of. This indirectly explains why there isn't any internet in North Korea, while South Korea has one of the fastest connections in the world. The regime simply can't afford its people finding out what a big pile of lies they've been fed all these years. Not having the internet is just one of the bizarre facts that revolve around North Korea. Aren't you glad that you have the internet to watch these power grabs by political clowns? Hit that like button. So what about the uncle? Kim Jong Il is a strong candidate for the succession. He is the son of the country's founding father and has been working in different diplomatic posts around the world. But his biggest obstacle to reach power is actually his niece, Kim Jong-un's sister. She has a much stronger political background and influence than he does, so he'll probably have to fight her for the title. This can turn bloody before the end if these two get into a family struggle for power. One likely outcome when the uncle and the sister fight to their deaths and the regime loses its footing, we could be looking at a foreign intervention. But with a third possible successor from the Kim family line, who doesn't seem to hate the rest of the world as much as Kim Jong-un or his sister does. Enter Kim Jong-chul, the older brother. Bet you didn't know the supreme leader has an older brother from the same parents. Kim Jong-chul was supposed to be the first in line after their father died, but Kim Jong-un was his father's favorite. Some people think that Kim Jong-chul is more pro-Western culture than his brother, and think that if he came into power, North Korea would become a US ally. And that could be the solution to uniting the two Koreas into one single country. But would that be good for the rest of us when one Korea has the advanced technology and the other has 20 nukes in its arsenal? Perhaps a united Korea isn't exactly in the world's best interest either, don't you think? So who exactly is in charge of North Korea's nukes if Kim Jong-un is dead or incapacitated? That's the million-dollar question. And since any speculations of such sensitive nature will likely be censored and video removed, let's hope we never have to find out. For more specifics on the nukes, just Google OPLAN 5027. There's a plan by the US to come to the rescue. But let's look on the bright side. One thing we are sure of is that the hackers and Skynet will have a tough time gaining control of North Korea's nukes without the country getting plugged in onto the internet first. So there you have it, a deeper look into North Korea, its basic leadership structure, and the consequences of their actions. Do you think Kim Jong-un is dead and the regime is just buying time to set up the succession? Or do you think he's really enjoying the international media all freaked out about his disappearance? Share your theories below.